Hello, everybody, and welcome to another 2023 Lamley Award Showcase Matchbox Moving Parts. They're definitely their own category now. Moving Parts has been prolific. I already mentioned in the Matchbox Basic that they've released a ton of new stuff. And Moving Parts is the same thing, quite a few new models. So we are doing, as we've done in the last few years, Moving Parts. You're going to go down below to lamleygroup.com. You're going to see pictures of all these models, and you're going to vote on the model that you think is best and the model that you think was the most disappointing. Should I go through it again? Not worst, most disappointing. These are licensed new models. I think everything in Moving Parts was licensed, so that's not a big differentiating factor. But lots of stuff, moving parts, hoods. We're not going to focus too much on the moving parts. I'm just going to show you the model. We're going to walk through these really quickly. I'm going to do them randomly, not in order of release or anything like this, but they were new models released in 2023. I don't think there's any 2022 holdovers. Oh, there was one. Why don't we just do that one first? I think there was just one. And we'll go. It was this one, the Golf. It's the VW 1995 Volkswagen Golf MK3 Mark III, however you call it. Anyway, has an opening tail. Again, we're not going to showcase these too much. We're just going to put them on the turntable so you can take a look at them. There's been one or two releases since, but this one missed the cutoff for the 2022 awards, and so we're including it in the 2023 awards. And this might be one you wanted to vote on last time, either as best or most disappointing model you were most looking forward to that did not work out in your mind. That's what most disappointing is. Let's just start going. We go to current, we go to classic, we go to current, we go back and forth. Let's do this one. I'm just picking them up randomly. This is the 1963 Ford F100. Remember, we're judging the casting most of all. If you want to include some details of the colors or things, I guess you can. But we're really looking at what the best new model and the most disappointing new model was. What did I call this one? Ford 63 Ford F100. So you're getting a classic truck here. I think this is actually based on the truck that Abe Lugo has. I say this a lot, right? When I do, Abe Lugo is a big car collector, and there's a certain era that he loves. And I think this is the actual truck that he has, even in this color. And I don't think anyone's complaining that it was made. It's a very cool, nice, classic truck. And that's one that maybe you think was the best one. Another classic. This one is modified from the original Toyota Land Cruiser. It was their year, 1968 Toyota FJ40. This casting has been done. It was released as a basic, I think, in 2008. Then it was modified, and these fenders were turned plastic, which disappointed a lot of people, me too. So now it's back all metal for moving parts. And that has opening doors. These are not too distracting, I don't think. I'm not a big fan of opening doors, to be honest. That's why I don't really focus too much on the moving parts portion and more just on the casting itself. But it does feel kind of a return to glory for this casting. It's always been a favorite among Matchbox collectors, and why wouldn't be? The Toyota Land Cruiser is a very, very cool model. So I like to kind of move back and forth. So if we're going classic then current, then why don't we go to this one? This is the Chevy Tahoe, right? 2022 Chevy Tahoe. We've seen Tahoes done forever with Matchbox, like 2 or 3. This is the most current Chevy Tahoe as an opening hood for the moving parts. But in general, seeing Matchbox do this in very much a factory style is very, very nice to see. It's a welcome, just kind of continued type of model that they do. This kind of just full-sized SUV, and this one is a nicely detailed model. Going on, we got a lot of off-roads. We did the truck, we did the FJ40, we've done the Yukon, or the Tahoe, I mean, and now we have, let's do the Unimog. Unimog silhouette we've seen quite a bit. I think this actual silhouette from this classic Unimog, what's the year on this one? It just says Unimog. We saw, was it Jurassic World? This casting was done, but they've modified it for moving parts, added some details, and this one pivots. You know, it doesn't have the opening hood or opening doors, but it actually matriculates, is that the word? Which is kind of cool. So that's one. I'll put that back here. That maybe the Unimog is the one that you like, or maybe you like the new Land Rover LR4, right? This is not the new Land Rover, right? It's what year would it be? This one doesn't say. Land Rover LR4. There's a newer one, isn't there? Opening doors on this one. This one came out forever ago. Feels like it was a long time ago. This one came out in the collector's line. These moving parts models could show up in collector. Collector is a mix of moving parts and basic models, or obviously moving parts. And this one I think we've only seen in collector so far, so I'm sure it's going to hit moving parts here very, very soon. So that is the Land Rover. Want to stay British? Let's do this. Triumph. 1969 Triumph TR6. This was just kind of a welcome addition to the Matchbox range. British Racing Green feels very Lesney, right? Feels like a Lesney model with the opening hood, and this one also debuted the two-part tires, the two-part disc wheels, which was nice to see too. Just feels just kind of just very comfortably in line with what Matchbox is. That is the Triumph, or one of the elements of Matchbox, right? Okay. Another basic model, turn moving parts, is the Fiat 500e. Isn't it the 500e, this one? Yeah, it has the opening tail. It's pretty much the exact same casting as the basic, but it is in there. And yeah, it's you know, it's a car that's been around a few years now, but Matchbox put it in basic about 2 or 3 years ago, and now they've moved it over to moving parts. We'll keep that in there. That's pretty current, so we'll go classic again with the Mustang Boss. This is the 302, 1969 302. Silhouette we've seen before in diecast. Hot Wheels has their version. This one sits a little bit higher. Seems to look a little more factory, a little more stock. The tri-spokes make it a little bit more of just your standard road car as opposed to a menacing fast Mustang, right? I mean, it just has that great look anyway. But you know, a nice Matchbox approach to that moving part model. Opening hood was part of that. Lexus, two Lexuses, this Lexuses, I don't know. In the range this year, in the moving parts range, this is the LX SUV, kind of based on the Land Cruiser, right? Am I right on that? 2022 Lexus LX. Like the Tahoe, it's really nice. It's just a nice SUV casting, very common on the road, kind of something you would see a lot, and it's just, you know, has a little bit of that upgraded Lexus luxury. You can tell the detail in the details. The grill's amazing, really, really nicely done, and a nice addition to that. Just, you almost could see Matchbox doing like a just Matchbox Road, and it's like, you know, nothing classic, just very current. Put that Nissan Sentra in there, put that in there, put the Tahoe, put the Lexus, put this in there too. This is the Citroen EC4X 2023. Similar silhouette to that Mercedes that was released a few years ago, but you know, it's not a car we see here in the US, but you know, seems very current, right? Another car that probably very common on certain roads in Europe and not here, but looks like a lot of cars that we would see here. Kind of a crossover type, right? Maybe an EV because of that E in the title, I'm assuming. Should probably know that, but yeah, another just on the road kind of car. There's a few of them here that I'll get to here in a second, but we should go classic again, right? Let's do this one. Another Abe Lugo car. I think he actually owns this one too. I think you can see it in the Mattel parking lot occasionally. He'll drive it to work. This is the 1957 Ford Country Sedan. Classic. He putting it in the moving parts, I think, gives it not only the moving part budget, but it also gives a little more budget for deco. And that's why you can see this two-tone, not only two-tone, right? You got the red and the white, but then you have that little yellow stripe in the middle with the gray trim. Really cool. Silver trim maybe. Front detailing, back detailing, even engine detailing. Abe went all out to replicate his car. Kind of nice, huh? Kind of nice. Really cool. Really cool classic wagon. Nice to see that in there. We'll push that into the big mess that we're creating. Tesla. Don't think. See, I'm getting the Teslas mixed up now. This is the Model 3. Hot Wheels has done the Model 3. Tesla has not. Right? Matchbox did, or Matchbox has not. This is their first. This is the first Model 3. It wasn't like a basic, right? So Hot Wheels did a basic. Model S has been done by Hot Wheels, Sports or by Matchbox, also by Hot Wheels. The X has been done twice by Matchbox with moving parts, without. Boy, it gets confusing. Anyway, this is a Tesla Model 3 with opening doors. We just leave it at that. I know I do get them kind of mixed up. But you're getting a lot of EVs, right? All right, let's do the Jeep. Jeep Gladiator? Yeah, no year on that one. Matchbox in the basic range released the Gladiator without side doors. So the moving part gets the opening hood and the side doors. I think other than that, it's essentially the same casting as the basic. And you know, Hot Wheels has one similar, but it's more lifted, right? So that's the Jeep Gladiator. Yeah, a lot of road cars. Let's get to another one. Something you'd see on the road. This is the 2024 Chevy Blazer. Opening hood. Very much a Chevrolet themed grille. Has the SS trim. I don't know if it always has. I don't know if the casting has SS details built into it, but they put the SS trim on this one. Yeah, like a lot of them, it's very much a road car. Call it what you want. Think of it, you know, what you want. Really nice, you know, replica of a car that, again, we don't probably think too much of, but that's why I still like that about Matchbox. Second Tesla. We already saw the 3. Here's the Roadster. It's been in the Matchbox basic range. Now it gets some opening doors and moves into the moving parts range. Just Tesla Roadster. Doesn't say anything else. No year on it, and it hasn't even been released yet, right? Cybertruck's just coming out now. So, yeah, pretty much the basic version, but with opening doors. So 2 Teslas. Maybe to fulfill that EV quota that Matchbox seems to have these days. But they also do cars like this one. Bentley. This is very much an update of the 2007 Bentley casting. This is the Bentley Continental, but there's no year on it. But it is updated, right? The tail lights and the headlights indicate that, and the, you know, that front grille, the way it sits. And then obviously it gets opening parts. So similar silhouette to the 2007 casting, but moving parts, opening doors, and updated front end. And yeah, other update. Looks like it was built from scratch. Tail lights are different as well. But nice to see that one. Though that Bentley has been synonymous with Matchbox for a long time, and it's nice to see that one. It makes a lot of sense. British car, British company, or, you know, British company back in the day. All right. Sprinter. This was a really nice thing to see Matchbox do. And I think that budget and that elevated price that the moving parts has means that they can do it. And it's, you know, so they gave it the sliding door, but it also gets more parts, right? Because there's more budget for it. So it gets the roof piece. It's just done nicely with the grille and everything in the front. Off-road version of the Sprinter. I really dig this. Well, there's my opinion, but it's up there. It's one that I've really, really liked. You know, the ladder might be part of the interior, or might be its own piece, or maybe it's just built there so they can open the door, right? As it maybe holds the door in place. But really digging that Sprinter. I'll put it in the back here. All right, just a handful more of Let's do a. I'm tired, guys. I've been filming videos, Lamley Award videos all day. Yeah, I'm just sitting here talking about cars, but it can get, for those of you who might do it, it can get pretty exhausting doing this. I also live streamed on Whatnot today. So there, okay, I'll stop talking about me. 1964 Buick Riviera. I mixed this, I didn't even realize this was a new model until later. I mixed it up with the, thought it was, what was it, the Grand Prix, I think, but no. Just kind of was blanking on that, but this is a new casting this year. Really cool, nice, classic 2-door sedan, and done nicely in black. Maybe that's one that you like and you'll vote it for best. Last of the road vehicles. How about a Nissan EV? This is the Nissan Ariya? I don't know. Have we seen this on the road yet? Is it like kind of like the Rogue? Is it just for Japan only? I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, but it looks very much like a very stock-looking vehicle, and I think it's an EV. Maybe the opening engine here. Is that an EV? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. Sometimes I know about these, sometimes I don't. 3 more. This one got a lot of play this year, a lot of discussion on the Lexus LFA, a lot of people excited to see a Mattel brand doing the Lexus LFA. This is one of the heaviest castings Matchbox has released in a while because it does have a metal base. And the two-piece tires. I'm looking forward to seeing future versions of this one, opening doors. And, you know, like they introduced the new 5-spoke two-piece tire on this, two-piece wheel on it. Probably could have been a little lower profile, and of course, like a 10-spoke would have worked better. But still, judge the casting, and there's a lot to like about this one. But you know, based on some of the comments, maybe it's your most disappointing as well, because this would be, if you did not like the Lexus LFA, this is the perfect instance of where I would talk about, like, don't vote for a tractor, vote for this. Like, if you didn't like the Lexus LFA and you were super looking forward to it, and it didn't meet your the standards you had set for it, then you could vote this one. That's what most disappointing is about. And I know a lot of people, some people mention that, so that's why I mentioned. I'm not telling you to do that on the Lexus LFA. You might love this one, but I'm saying that's a good candidate for that kind of thing. So I'm going to push all that. 2 more. Mazda RX-7, right? Yes, 1988 Mazda RX-7 convertible. Opening hood on this one, I'm not even going to. Interesting new addition, kind of cool new addition to see this one. And we got a few 80s cars, which is nice to see too, from Matchbox this year. And this was a kind of a cool choice in doing the convertible. It was a nice little touch too. Yeah, you can see something about the cast. They even, in some of these castings, they'll actually put the pedals in there. Notice the gas, the brake, and the clutch, right? I think so. I think so. There it is. That is the Mazda RX-7. And last, we'll finish with the Bollinger B2, right? Do I have that right? 2022 Bollinger B2. EV truck on its way. Very, very rugged looking truck, square. 3 different moving parts on this: opening hood, opening front, doesn't need an engine because it's an EV, and an opening tailgate, which is cool. You can see right through it. So if you were ever hauling lamp posts, you could put them in here, which is kind of nice. Really cool color, all black. Very, very nice. Unique as well, like one of those unique choices that Matchbox does. And there you go. That is a hodgepodge of new Matchbox moving parts. You go to that link below and you tell me which one was the best, which one was the most disappointing. Make it compelling. Go and vote for that. Tell me what you think too in the comments if you'd like. I would love to hear your comments. I think Matchbox had a pretty killer year. Thanks everybody. Bye.